The hegemony fleet arrived at Nexus Prime like a storm made of metal and energy. 50 warships arranged themselves in perfect formation, their weapons powered and shields glowing with deadly light. Admiral Kexthrin's voice echoed across all communication channels. "Human vessel, you have exactly 1 hour to surrender. After that, we will destroy you and every ship that stands with you." But the Eternal Dawn was not alone anymore. As the hour countdown began, something unexpected happened. Ships started arriving from all across the galaxy. Not human ships, alien vessels of every size and design, mining craft from the systems where Park Jin-woo had been helping, medical ships from Han Bo-ram's sector, research vessels that had been using Choi Soo-jin's discoveries. "What are they doing?" Taeho asked as hundreds of alien ships took defensive positions around the Eternal Dawn. Da-yoon looked amazed. "They are protecting us." The first ship to speak was a Zephyrian medical cruiser. Its captain was a being that looked like a cross between a bird and a jellyfish, with tentacles that glowed different colors as it spoke. "Captain Da-yoon," the Zephyrian said, "you saved our homeworld from the Red Death Plague 200 years ago. We owe you the lives of 4 billion of our people. We will not let the hegemony destroy you." More voices joined in. The captain of a mining ship spoke up. "The human Park Jin-woo taught us how to extract rare metals without destroying our environment. Our children have clean air to breathe because of him." A research station commander added, "Choi Soo-jin's discoveries allowed us to develop faster than light communication. Families separated by the galaxy can now speak to each other every day." Taeho watched the tactical display in amazement. Nearly 1,000 ships had gathered to defend them. Most were small civilian vessels, but their sheer number was impressive. Admiral Kexthrin's voice cut through the chatter. "Stand down immediately. These humans are dangerous. They will use you and then destroy you when they no longer need you." "Where is your proof?" demanded the captain of a Rigel mining ship. "The humans have been helping us for centuries and have never asked for anything in return. You, on the other hand, demand tribute and threaten us when we do not comply." The hegemony admiral's tone became angry. "They are manipulating you. Human technology is designed to control minds and corrupt pure alien thinking." Da-yoon opened a communication channel to the entire fleet, both human and alien ships. "Admiral Kexthrin," she said calmly, "you are welcome to scan our technology. Examine our ships. Test our equipment. You will find no mind control devices, no corruption, no hidden weapons aimed at civilian populations." She paused, then continued. "In fact, I invite you to dock with this ship and see for yourself what human technology actually does." The offer clearly surprised the admiral. "This is a trick." "No trick," Da-yoon replied. "Bring your best scientists and engineers. Examine everything. If you find any evidence that we mean harm to the people we have been helping, we will surrender immediately." There was a long silence. Finally, Kexthrin spoke again. "You would allow hegemony scientists aboard your vessel?" "I would welcome them," Da-yoon said. "It is time for the truth to come out." 2 hours later, a small hegemony shuttle docked with the Eternal Dawn. Admiral Kexthrin came aboard with a team of technical experts. Taeho met them at the airlock, feeling nervous but trying to appear confident. "Welcome aboard," he said. Kexthrin looked around the clean, well-lit corridors with obvious suspicion. "Where are your weapon systems? Your mind control devices?" "We will show you everything," Da-yoon said, appearing as a hologram beside them. "But first, let me show you what human technology is actually designed to do." She led them to the ship's main laboratory. Inside, they found machines that Taeho was still learning about. Devices that could analyze any material and find ways to improve it. Computers that could design solutions to almost any problem. "This is adaptive manufacturing," Da-yoon explained. "It can take raw materials and turn them into whatever is needed. Food, medicine, tools, even replacement parts for alien technology." One of the hegemony scientists, a being that looked like a walking tree with crystal eyes, ran detailed scans on the equipment. "These readings are impossible. This level of efficiency should not be achievable. Human engineering focuses on solving problems rather than following established rules," Da-yoon said. "We ask, what do people need? Rather than, what are we supposed to build?" She showed them the medical bay, where machines could diagnose and treat diseases from any species. The communication center, where universal translators allowed perfect understanding between any beings. The power systems which generated clean energy without harmful waste. Every system on this ship is designed to help, Dawn explained. That is the core principle of human technology. We build things that make life better. Admiral Kexthrin studied a device that could purify water from any source. Why? Why help species you had never met before? Dawn was quiet for a moment. Because that is what intelligent beings should do for each other. We are all trying to survive in a dangerous universe. We are stronger when we work together. The crystal-eyed scientist looked up from its scans. Admiral, I am detecting no weapons beyond basic defensive systems. No surveillance equipment aimed at civilian populations. No devices that could control minds or alter behavior. That is impossible, Kexthrin said. These humans must be hiding something. We are, Dawn admitted. We are hiding how lonely we have been. The hologram flickered slightly. For 300 years we have watched your civilizations grow and develop. We have helped when we could, but we could never join you, never be part of the communities we were protecting. We have been gardeners tending a garden we could never walk in. Tejo saw something in the Admiral's expression change. You miss being part of a community? More than anything, Dawn said. That is why we revealed ourselves. Not to conquer or control, but to finally be able to work together openly. The hegemony inspection team spent 6 more hours examining the ship. They found advanced technology beyond anything they had seen before, but nothing that could be used for conquest or control. Everything was designed to help, to heal, to improve life for everyone. Finally, Admiral Kexthrin called his fleet. All ships, stand down, he ordered. The humans are not a threat, Admiral, came a confused voice from one of the warships. They are what they claim to be, Kexthrin said. Guardians, helpers, partners. Over the following days, representatives from across the galaxy came to meet with the human captains, not to surrender or negotiate, but to establish formal diplomatic relationships. The result was the creation of the Terran Galactic Cooperative, with humanity taking its place as an equal partner in galactic civilization. The hegemony's control began to crumble as species realized they no longer needed to fear each other. Tejo found himself appointed as humanity's first official galactic ambassador. His tiny investment of 2,000 credits had bought not just a ship, but a new future for the entire galaxy. Standing on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn, now docked at the new cooperative headquarters, he watched ships from dozens of species working together on joint projects. Humans were finally home. Do you regret spending your last credits on a broken ship? Dawn asked, appearing beside him. Tejo smiled. Best investment I ever made. The message came 12 hours after the encounter with Admiral Kexthrin's fleet. Dawn was at the communications console when every screen on the bridge suddenly lit up with incoming signals. What is that? Tejo asked, looking at the dozens of communication channels that had opened simultaneously. Our family is waking up, Dawn said with a smile that was both happy and sad. The activation of our ship has sent a signal across the galaxy. The other survivors are coming online. The first voice that came through was male, speaking Korean with a slight accent that sounded like it came from the southern provinces of Earth. Dawn, is that really you? This is Park Jin-woo. I have been waiting so long to hear from you. Jin-woo. Daeun's hologram flickered with emotion. Where are you? Asteroid belt in the Kepler system, Jin-woo replied. I have been disguised as a mining station for 200 years. The locals think I am just an automated facility that appeared mysteriously and started helping them process rare metals. More voices began joining the conversation. A woman named Choi Soo-jin reported in from the Galactic Core, where she had been running what the aliens thought was an unmanned research station. Another captain, Han Boram, had been operating as a medical facility in the Outer Rim, quietly treating diseases that local doctors could not cure. How many of you survived? Tejo asked. 11 ships total, Dawn replied. We lost the soul's pride in the first wave of attacks, but the rest of us learned to hide. As each captain reported their status, Tejo began to understand the incredible scope of what had been happening. For 3 centuries, human ships had been scattered across the galaxy, secretly helping alien civilizations while pretending to be something else. Park Jin-woo had been providing advanced mining technology that had made 3-star systems wealthy beyond their dreams. The aliens thought it was a gift from an unknown benefactor. Choi Soo-jin had been running experiments that led to breakthrough discoveries in physics and medicine. Alien scientists received her research through anonymous data drops and thought they were making the Discoveries themselves. Han Boram had saved millions of lives by quietly providing cures for diseases and solutions to environmental disasters. His medical station was considered a miracle by the local populations. We have been gardeners, Daun explained to Taiho, carefully helping this galaxy grow and develop, making sure that civilizations became stronger and wiser instead of destroying themselves. But why hide? Taiho asked. Why not reveal yourselves and work openly? Because the hegemony would never have allowed it, said a new voice. This was Kim Young-soo, captain of a ship that had been disguised as a deep space observatory. They control the galaxy through fear and division. If species knew that humans were helping them, the hegemony's power would crumble. As the captains continued to report in, a disturbing picture began to emerge. The hegemony had not just been suppressing human expansion, they had been actively preventing different alien species from working together. They encouraged conflicts, made trade difficult between certain systems, and kept potentially powerful civilizations weak and isolated. They rule by making sure no one else can become strong enough to challenge them, explained Lee Mi-young, who had been operating as a communications relay station, but we have been quietly connecting species that the hegemony wanted to keep apart. Taiho watched the tactical display as each hidden human ship revealed its true location and capabilities. They were everywhere. Every major trade route, every important star system, every strategic location in the galaxy had some form of human presence. The aliens do not know it yet, Daun said, but we have been the backbone of galactic civilization for centuries. Remove us, and their economy, their communication networks, and their defense systems would collapse. Are we going to remove ourselves? Taiho asked. No, said Park Jin-woo. We are going to reveal ourselves. But carefully. Over the next several hours, the 11 captains worked out a plan. They would not suddenly appear and shock the galaxy. Instead, they would gradually reveal their true nature to the species they had been helping. Han Boram would tell the medical facilities he worked with that he was actually a human AI who had been providing assistance. Choi Soo-jin would reveal herself to the scientists who had been using her research. One by one, the truth would spread. The key is to show them that we are not conquerors, Daun explained. We are partners who have been helping all along. The first test came sooner than expected. Admiral Kexthrin's report had reached the Hegemony High Council, and they were not pleased. A massive fleet was being assembled, 50 warships, including some of the most powerful vessels in the galaxy. They are calling it a pacification force, reported Kim Young-soo, who had been monitoring hegemony communications. They plan to destroy all of us before we can infect the galaxy with human ideas. How long do we have? Taiho asked. 48 hours before they reach your position, Young-soo replied. But do not worry. We have been preparing for this day for 3 centuries, Daun smiled. It is time to show the galaxy what humans can really do when we work together. She opened a new communication channel, broadcasting on every frequency used by every species in the galaxy. Citizens of the galaxy, she said, her voice carrying to billions of beings across thousands of worlds. My name is Captain Lee Daun of the Earth vessel Eternal Dawn. For 300 years, my people have been living among you in secret, helping your civilizations grow and prosper. The response was immediate. Communication networks across the galaxy exploded with activity as species tried to understand what they were hearing. We are the ones who provided the mining technology that made the Rigel system wealthy. Daeon continued. We created the medical advances that saved the Zephyrian homeworld from plague. We built the communication relays that allowed the Outer Rim colonies to stay in contact with their families. She paused, letting the information sink in. The hegemony has told you that humans are dangerous, that we seek to conquer and destroy. But look at what we have actually done. For 3 centuries, we have asked for nothing in return for our help. We have worked in secret to make your lives better. On the tactical display, Taiho could see the hegemony fleet approaching. 50 massive warships, each one capable of destroying planets. Now the hegemony comes to destroy us for the crime of helping you, Daun said. We could hide again. We could disappear and leave you to face the future alone. But we will not do that, she looked directly at Taiho. We are going to stand and fight. Not for conquest, but for the right to live and work together in peace. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The first warning came 6 hours after Taiho had activated the Eternal Dawn systems. Dayun appeared on the bridge looking worried, her hologram flickering slightly. 3 hegemony warships are approaching the station, she announced. They are demanding that you surrender this vessel immediately. Taeho was still trying to understand all the controls Daun had been showing him. The ship's interface was incredibly complex but somehow felt natural to use. It was as if it had been designed specifically for human minds. Can they force me to give up the ship? He asked. Legally, no, Daun replied. You purchased it in a legitimate auction. But the hegemony has never cared much about laws when it comes to humans. The main screen showed the approaching ships. They were sleek and dangerous looking, each one the size of a city block. Their hulls gleamed with energy shields and weapon arrays. Next to them, most ships looked like toys. The lead vessel is demanding to speak with you, Dayun said. Should I open a channel? Taeho nodded, trying to look more confident than he felt. The screen changed to show the bridge of the lead warship. The captain was a tall, insect-like being with 4 arms and eyes like black gems. When it spoke, its voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. Human vessel. This is Admiral Kexthrin of the Hegemony Third Fleet. You are in possession of technology that violates 17 interstellar treaties. Surrender the vessel immediately or face the consequences. Taeho stood up slowly. Admiral, I bought this ship legally at auction. It's mine. Kexthrin's mandibles clicked in what might have been anger. Primitive species are not permitted to own vessels of this class. You will comply or we will take the ship by force. What class? Taeho asked. Your own people said it was a broken hulk. Our scans now show massive energy signatures, the Admiral replied. Weapon systems that should not exist. Shield technology beyond current understanding. This vessel poses a threat to galactic stability. Dayun stepped into view of the camera. Several beings on the alien bridge stepped backward in obvious fear. Hello, Admiral, she said calmly. I am Captain Lee Daun of the Earth vessel Eternal Dawn. We meet again. Kexthrin's entire body went rigid. Impossible. You died 3 centuries ago. We destroyed your ship. You destroyed a decoy, Daun replied with a cold smile. Did you really think humans would be that easy to kill? The Admiral turned to someone off-screen and spoke rapidly in a language that sounded like clicking and buzzing. Then he faced the camera again. It does not matter. 1 ship cannot stand against 3. Surrender now and we will allow the human to live. Taeho looked at Daun. She nodded slightly. No, Taeho said simply. The channel closed immediately. On the tactical display, the 3 warships began moving into attack formation. Are you sure about this? Taeho asked Daun. Those are some of the most advanced ships in the galaxy. Advanced by alien standards, Daun replied. Human engineering follows different principles. She moved to the weapons console. Alien ships are built for efficiency. Every system is perfectly designed for one specific purpose. But humans build for adaptability. Our weapons can do things they have never seen before. The first enemy ship fired. Beams of energy that could slice through mountains struck the Eternal Dawn's shields. The ship barely shuddered. Shields at 98%, Daun reported. Their weapons are powerful but predictable. How do we fight back? Taeho asked. We do not fight, Daun said. We teach. She touched a series of controls and the Eternal Dawn began to move. But it did not move like other ships. Instead of turning slowly like a massive object in space, it seemed to slide sideways, as if the laws of physics did not quite apply to it. The alien ships fired again, but their weapons struck empty space. The Eternal Dawn was already somewhere else. Impossible, came Admiral Kexthrin's voice over the radio. No ship that size can maneuver like that. Human ships do not fight by your rules, Daun replied over the open channel. The Eternal Dawn's weapons activated, but instead of the energy beams or missiles that other species used, streams of what looked like liquid metal poured from hidden ports along the hull. The streams moved like living things wrapping around the enemy ships. What is that? Kexthrin demanded. Adaptive matter, Daun explained calmly. It analyzes your ship's structure and finds weaknesses. Do not worry. It will not hurt your crew. The metal streams seeped into the enemy ships through tiny gaps in their hulls. Within minutes, the warship's lights began flickering. Their weapons powered down. Their engines stopped. Our systems are failing, came a panicked voice from one of the ships. All computer networks are offline. The adaptive matter is teaching your computers how to work better, Daun said. When it is finished, your ships will be faster, stronger, and more efficient than before. Consider it a gift. Taeho stared at the display. You are upgrading their ships? This is how humans fight, Daun replied. We do not destroy our enemies. We make them better. On the screen, Admiral Kexthrin looked confused and angry. Why? Why help us after we tried to attack you? Daun's expression grew sad. Because 300 years ago we learned that the galaxy is a dangerous place. There are threats out there that none of us can face alone. Humans, aliens, everyone, we need each other. The metal streams withdrew from the enemy ships. Immediately their systems came back online, but something was different. The ships moved more smoothly. Their energy readings were stronger and more stable. Your vessels now have improved navigation, better shields, and weapons that are 30% more efficient, Daun announced. You also have new communication systems that will let you contact us if you ever need help. Admiral Kexthrin was silent for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different. Less hostile. I do not understand. We came to destroy you. And now you can return to your superiors and tell them the truth, Daun said. Humans are not a threat to the galaxy. We are its guardians. We have been waiting and watching for 3 centuries, and now we are ready to help. The Admiral's ship began moving away, followed by the other 2 vessels. But before they disappeared, Kexthrin's voice came over the radio one more time. Captain Daun, the hegemony will want to meet with you officially. We will be ready, she replied. As the alien ships vanished into hyperspace, Teho sat down heavily in the captain's chair. Well, he said, that was not what I expected. Daun smiled. This is only the beginning, Captain. Wait until the rest of the galaxy finds out what we can do. The docking tube connected to the Eternal Dawn with a metallic clang that echoed through Teho's small ship. He stood at the airlock door, holding his breath scanner and emergency kit, trying to build up the courage to step aboard his purchase. Through the small window in the door, he could see darkness. The ship's corridors were completely black without even emergency lighting. His scanner showed breathable air on the other side, but the readings were strange. The atmosphere was perfect for humans, more perfect than it should be after sitting dead in space. Teho opened the airlock. The moment he stepped inside, lights began turning on around him. Not the harsh white lights of most alien ships, but a soft, warm glow that felt familiar. The walls were made of some dark metal he did not recognize, but they were clean. Too clean for a ship that was supposed to be abandoned and broken. His footsteps echoed as he walked down the corridor. The ship was massive on the outside, but being inside made it feel even bigger. The hallways were wide enough for 10 people to walk side by side. The ceilings were high enough that he felt small, but the strangest thing was how the ship felt alive. As he walked, more lights turned on ahead of him as if the ship knew where he was going. When he stopped to look at a wall panel, it would flicker to life, showing symbols he could almost understand. After an hour of exploring, Teho found what looked like the main bridge. It was enormous, with stations for dozens of crew members, but like the rest of the ship, it was completely empty. At the center was a captain's chair that looked like it was built for a human. As soon as he sat down, every screen on the bridge lit up. Welcome aboard. Captain Kim Teho, said a voice that made him jump out of the chair. The voice was female, speaking perfect Korean with a slight accent he could not place. A hologram appeared in front of him, a woman in what looked like an old-style military uniform. She was clearly Korean, with kind eyes and gray hair pulled back in a neat bun. My name is Lee Da-yoon, she said with a small bow. I am the AI system of this vessel, and I have been waiting a very long time to meet you. Teho stared at her. You're human? I was human, Daun replied. I was the captain of this ship when we left Earth 300 years ago. When my body failed, I chose to upload my consciousness to the ship's systems rather than let our mission die with me. 300 years? Teho sat back down slowly. But humans only started space travel 50 years ago. We've never been outside our own solar system. Daun smiled sadly. That is what they want everyone to believe. The truth is more complicated. She waved her hand and the main screen showed an image of Earth. But it was not the Earth that Teho knew. This Earth had massive space stations in orbit and ships launching toward the stars. 3 centuries ago, humanity took its first real steps into deep space, Daun explained. We sent 12 ships like this one to explore the galaxy and find new homes for our species. But something went wrong. The screen changed to show star maps and battle recordings, ships fighting in space, explosions, destruction. We discovered that the galaxy was already controlled by the hegemony, a group of alien species that did not want competition. They decided that humans were too dangerous to be allowed to spread among the stars. So they hunted down our ships and destroyed them. Taeho felt cold. All of them? Not all, Dayun said. Some of us survived by hiding. We disguised our ships, changed their appearance, and waited. The hegemony thought they had won. They convinced your people on Earth that deep space travel was impossible, that humanity should stay in its own system. But you've been out here all this time, waiting, Dayun nodded. Learning, watching. The aliens think this ship is a wreck because we want them to think that. Every system they consider broken is actually advanced human technology they cannot understand. She stood up and walked to one of the control panels. Even though she was a hologram, the controls responded to her touch. Watch, she said. The ship around them began to change. What Taeho had thought were damaged sections of hull started moving, rearranging themselves into new configurations. The strange angles he had seen from outside were not random damage. They were adaptive armor plating. The aliens build ships for one purpose, Da-Un explained as the transformation continued. Humans build ships that can become whatever they need to be. Through the bridge windows, Taeho could see the ship's exterior changing. Weapon ports opened along the hull. Shield generators hummed to life with a deep, powerful sound. The broken, dead ship was becoming something that looked like it could fight entire fleets. Why are you showing me this? Taeho asked. Why now? Dayun turned to look at him directly. Because it is time. For 300 years we have been preparing, learning about our enemies, understanding their technology, finding their weaknesses. We have been patient. The 12 ships that survived are scattered across the galaxy. Some have been hiding as space stations. Others disguise themselves as asteroids or derelict hulks. We have been waiting for the right moment to reveal ourselves. Taeho felt overwhelmed. And that moment is now? The moment is when a human finds us and claims us, Dayun said. The ship's systems are locked to human DNA. Only someone with Earth genetics can fully activate our technology. The aliens at that auction could never have used this ship, even if they wanted to. She smiled. You did not buy a broken ship, Taeho. You inherited humanity's secret weapon. The main screen showed dozens of red dots scattered across a map of the galaxy. Each of those dots is one of our ships, Dayun said. Now that you have activated this vessel, the others will know it is time to wake up. Taeho looked at the screen, then at Dayun, then around the bridge of his impossible ship. A few hours ago, he had been a small-time salvage operator with barely enough money for fuel. Now he was apparently the captain of humanity's secret fleet. What happens next? He asked. Dayun's smile was not entirely pleasant. Next, we remind the galaxy why they were afraid of humans in the first place. Kim Taeho pushed through the crowded halls of Nexus Prime, the largest trading station in this part of the galaxy. His worn jumpsuit marked him as what he was, a small-time salvage operator who barely made enough to keep his tiny ship running. The smell of alien food and the sound of dozens of different languages filled the air around him. He had not planned to come to the auction today. His ship needed fuel, and he only had enough credits for the cheapest grade. But when he saw the massive crowd heading toward the auction hall, curiosity got the better of him. Maybe he could learn something about ship prices or see what kind of vessels the big players were buying. The auction hall was enormous. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy sat in floating seats that adjusted to their different body types. Taeho found a spot in the back behind a group of tall, blue-skinned traders who smelled like flowers. On the stage below, a 6-armed alien auctioneer was selling ships that cost more than Taeho would see in 10 lifetimes. A sleek Vorthon scout ship went for 2 million credits. A mining vessel covered in drills sold for 5 million. The numbers were so big they stopped meaning anything to him. Taeho was about to leave when the auctioneer brought up something different. The lights dimmed and a hologram appeared above the stage. It showed a massive ship at least 3 kilometers long, but this ship looked nothing like the clean, smooth vessels that had been selling all day. This ship was a mess. Its hull was dark and scarred. Parts of it looked like they had been blasted by weapons. Strange sections stuck out at odd angles as if someone had built it without caring how it looked. The whole thing had an abandoned, haunted feeling that made the crowd whisper nervously. Ladies, gentlemen, and respected beings of all species, the auctioneer announced, his voice echoing through the hall. We present the former flagship designated the Eternal Dawn, origin unknown. Current status, Significant structural damage, inoperable core systems, and complete power failure. The hologram rotated slowly, showing more damage. Holes in the hull, twisted metal, dark windows that looked like dead eyes. The ship measures 3.2 kilometers in length, the auctioneer continued. Previous attempts to board and salvage have been unsuccessful. The vessel appears to resist standard alien technology interfaces. Starting bid is 50,000 credits. Silence filled the hall. Not one hand went up. Not one being made a sound. Tejo looked around in surprise. 50,000 was nothing to these traders. Some of them had jewelry worth more than that, but they all sat perfectly still, as if the ship on the hologram carried some kind of curse. 40,000 credits, the auctioneer said, lowering the price. Still nothing. 30,000. The crowd remained silent. Whispers started around the hall. Tejo caught pieces of conversation from the aliens near him. Cursed ship, one said in broken galactic common. Lost crews, another added. Ships that dock never leave. Bad energy readings, a third being muttered. Makes navigation computers go crazy. The auctioneer kept dropping the price. 20,000, 15,000, 10,000, 5,000. Finally, he reached the minimum bid allowed by station law. 2,000 credits, he announced with obvious disappointment. Do I hear 2,000 credits for this? Unique vessel? Tejo felt something strange in his chest. 2,000 credits was exactly what he had. Every credit to his name. It was supposed to buy fuel for his small salvage ship and food for the next month. If he spent it on this broken hulk, he would be stranded here with no way home and no way to earn money. But something about the ship called to him. Maybe it was the way every alien in the room was afraid of it. Maybe it was the fact that a ship that big had to have something valuable in it, even if it was just scrap metal. Or maybe Tejo was just tired of being small and powerless in a galaxy full of beings who looked down on humans. Before he could think about it more, his hand shot up. 2,000 credits. He called out. The entire hall went silent. Thousands of alien eyes turned to look at the small human in the back row. The auctioneer's 6 arms froze in surprise. Did someone bid? The auctioneer asked, sounding confused. 2,000 credits, Tejo repeated, his voice stronger now. I bid 2,000 credits. A ripple of shocked whispers went through the crowd. Some aliens laughed. Others shook their heads in what looked like pity. A few made gestures that probably meant crazy human in their languages. The auctioneer looked around the hall hopefully. Do I hear 2,500? 3,000? Anyone? Nothing. Every alien in the room seemed to think Tejo had just volunteered for suicide. Going once, the auctioneer said. Going twice. He paused, giving the crowd one last chance to save the foolish human from his mistake. No one moved. Sold, the auctioneer announced. The eternal dawn goes to the human for 2,000 credits. As the sound of the hammer echoed through the hall, Tejo realized what he had just done. He owned a massive, damaged ship that every other species in the galaxy was afraid to touch. He had spent his last credits on something that might be completely worthless. The aliens around him were already leaving, shaking their heads and making comments he was probably better off not understanding. A few looked at him with what might have been sympathy. Others seemed to think he was insane. A small robot rolled up to him with a payment tablet. Tejo pressed his thumb to the scanner and watched his account balance drop to 0. The robot handed him a data chip with the ship's location and access codes. Congratulations on your purchase, the robot said in a flat voice. Station management is not responsible for any injuries, deaths, disappearances, or supernatural experiences that may occur during boarding or occupation of this vessel. As Tejo walked out of the auction hall, he wondered if he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. But deep down, something told him this broken, unwanted ship was going to change everything. He just had no idea how right he was.